Hey everyone, we are live. It's supposed to be my 2 week sales update, and it's really 3 weeks because last weekend was Easter and I was busy on Saturday because I hosted. So this is my what sold live. We're gonna talk about some Poshmark theories that I have. We're gonna talk about a little bit of everything tonight. So thank you to everyone who is hopping on. Make sure you say hello in the chat so that I know who's here and I can have conversations with you. Um, if you're already not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button too. It shows YouTube that you enjoy this content and you enjoy what I'm putting out there for everyone. So we're just going to give a little bit for people to kind of come on. I know it takes a little while. There's like a little bit of a delay when I go live and when it shows up on YouTube and stuff. Do we see the bags under my eyes? I was gardening all day, just engrossed in all the pollen and allergies. So I'm a little puffy and lack of hydration because I was just like go, go, go all day. Anyway. Hi, Noreen. Hello, Robin. Happy Saturday. What are you guys up to? Hey, Francis. Nice to see you here. Let me know what you guys did today. Did you do anything fun? Did you go thrifting? What'd you guys do? I thrifted for like an hour after I gardened in my disgusting clothing. I went to the thrift store because I knew they were going to be stocking towards the end of the day for their last round because they don't stock on Sunday. And I found some really good stuff. So it's very excited. It's all in the car though, so I can't show you that. It's all just sitting in the car, but really, really great. I guess like not common brands, but brands are like mid-tier kind of level that were new at Tag, which is really exciting. Hi, Laura. Welcome, everyone. Just going to give a few minutes before I hop into the sales. I know last time when I started kind of early and people are still kind of filtering in and missed the beginning of my presentation that I do here when I do my what sold videos. But thank you for joining me tonight on your Saturday night. We just had Chinese food. We haven't had Chinese food in I don't even know how long. It's been months. I think when we first moved into the house, we had Chinese food. That's how often we eat it. And we tried a new place and it was really, really good. Thank you. It's a little Vineyard Vine. I actually bought this at the Vineyard Vines store at Gillette Stadium because I really liked it and I wanted to pay, I don't even remember how much it was, $24, something like that, $29. I thought it was cute, little camo. And it matches with a lot of different things. You went to a Plato's Closet 90% off sale. That's awesome, Francis. What'd you find? Find good things besides all your wonderful things you find at the bins? Mark is away. Oh, okay. Trying to clean the office out. No thrifting, but boxing up for a flip thread up in the real. Funny you say that, Robin. So I have an enormous box sitting right here. This is like my things I'm going to do tomorrow. So I'm going to tackle this box that's over here for the real tomorrow. I have 2 boxes that are in the closet that are filled with things for thread up that I finally have labels for. So I'm going to ship those off. UPS is open tomorrow. They're open 7 days a week. So I'm going to package up all my boxes first thing in the morning and then package up any sales that I made between Friday night and today. And if I make anything early tomorrow morning and just drop everything off. So on Monday, I don't have to worry about anything else. And then I'm going to tackle the piles that I've made in my room where I photograph and everything. I'm going to tackle all those piles and put everything into inventory. And then if I feel like it, I'll photograph. Oh my God, Chloe, I'm not kidding. I was thinking of you yesterday and almost texted you. Where have you been? Are you done with school? What is happening? I have not heard you in so long. What is happening, Chloe? Like if I should just send you a link to come on here because I feel like none of us have talked to you in so long. It's so nice to have you here. All right. We're going to give it another minute and then we'll just get into the sales. What sold over the last 3 weeks. I did pull sales over the last 3 weeks, but I didn't include anything that sold over the last 3 days, I think, just to have a cutoff. And then in 2 weeks' time, I'll do a real update for what sold in April. We'll do the rest of the sales for the rest of the month. and we'll kind of go from there. I am going to show you my numbers and kind of where I'm at compared to last year and last month and where I think I'm going to fall. So I will show all of that to you guys. And let me just read what Chloe is saying. I'm alive, I swear. 2 more months till graduation, but it's crazy over here. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. I figured it was school related, and that's why you're ignoring me. That's okay. I'll let it slide, Chloe. I'll let it slide. All right, I'm going to pop up my little What's Sold presentation. Again, thank you everyone for all your feedback on this. It seems like people really like this format and they love to see the visuals and what, and the breakdown of it instead of just a traditional recorded video, which I'm fine with. And then this is recorded anyway. So if you don't catch it during the live stream, then you'll be able to watch it later. Now you're hungry for Chinese food. Well, I mean, it is good. This place was really good. Okay. Wait, that format, it's so cute. Yeah, I started this a couple of I think I've done 2 now, Chloe, and this is just kind of like my thing now. I'm just going to come live and I'm actually going to stop this banner because it's bothering me and I want it to go away. I just kind of come on here and I take the most interesting sales or sales that I want to share with everyone that I think would be beneficial, maybe brands that I had success with, and kind of just, show the reality of how much I paid for something, how much it sold for, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we are going to start off with a brand that I don't always pick up, but if the style's cute, I'll grab it. Palladium is the brand, as you can see here. And these are the Palladium baggy soldier boot canvas casual shoe. There's a bunch of keywords. But it was like this, it reminded me of like Tim's, right? Timberlands. That's kind of the vibe that it gave me. And I paid $10 for it. They sold for $70. These got a ton of attention. I don't know if they were featured on like Revolve or something. I feel like when I was researching, I saw that specific shoe on one of those websites out there. And who knows, someone might have worn it at some point in time. So yeah, those sold. I knew they were going to sell for a good amount. I was thinking more in the $50 range. So I was happy with the 70. I'm not going to lie. I've only sold Palladium once, maybe twice. But these were basically new. There was no indication that these were ever worn before. The pair that I sold before this were a pair of boots. And I believe those sold for, this was a long time ago, probably like 3 years ago. They sold in that $50, $55 range. So Palladium, great brand. Definitely be on the lookout for that one if you can find it in your area. Next, I never thought I was going to sell this. I was actually about to send this to the Real in my next box, so I'm happy that it sold. This is a vintage Versace classic V2, so it's kind of a diffusion. It's a diffusion in the Versace line. It was just a leather button-up trench coat. It did have a flaw. It had you can't see, but like in this area of the sleeve, there was a little bit of a tear, but it was on the inside, so you couldn't see it, but I disclosed it. It sold for $120. My cost of goods was $5 on this. This was purchased at a Salvation Army towards the beginning of the year. So it did sit for a little bit, but I mean, it's April. I bought it in January and it already sold. So that was a goodbye in my book that I really thought I was going to have to send off to the Real, but I'm glad that I didn't. Oh, 2 new Bolo brands for you. Good. I'm so glad, Chloe. Glad to add to your Bolo brand list. All right, next up is a brand that I never, ever, ever pick up when I am thrifting, but I picked this up because it was in a box that I got. So this was in my first and only Cozy Thread box that I had picked up. It was the Regen box. This dress had one little stitch that needed to be fixed, so I fixed it. It was a newer Millie tag, which is the only reason why I decided to list it myself. I was going to end up sending it in to ThreadUp, end up listing it, said, well, whatever, we'll see what happens with it. It was an off-the-shoulder dress. It was really pretty, as you can tell by the stock photo. So my cost of goods on that entire box per piece was $8. And it sold for $72. I took an offer on that. So I was really surprised that I could sell Millie for $72 in 2022. Oh, and I'm sure because it was a newer style, that's why it sold for that much, but Millie just doesn't have a following like it did when I first started reselling. Next up, we have the Stuart Weitzman leather knee-high heeled boots. They sold for $110. My cost of goods was $12. I picked these up in Boston. So again, I didn't think these were going to sell. I don't know what I was thinking when I picked them up. I was like, oh, they're brown leather knee-high boots. And they're Stuart Weitzman, and they're in really great condition. They're a semi-newer style, so I'm going to grab them. That was really, really dumb on my part. But it did end up selling. I picked these up in like October of last year. So happy to take the $110 and reinvest that money, not in Stuart Weitzman boots again, because these are going to end up going to the real. So glad that they sold. Yes, Madewell. We do love Madewell. This is the Perfect Vintage Jean. This is a newer color for Madewell. This had a, nope, this one did not have a raw hem. There was another one that I have, same Perfect Vintage Jean. They make so many different perfect vintage jeans now. This is just one of them. Listed this, and within 3 hours, it sold for $70. My cost of goods was $9. This was in my recent haul, like the haul that I posted before I'm doing this live. So it was like 3 weeks ago almost. These sold immediately, and I've said this numerous times, and I'll say it again. Madewell, the Perfect Vintage Jean, is by far my number one Madewell seller when it comes to denim. People love the style. It's got a great cut. It fits nicely. So if you come across the Perfect Vintage Jean, and it's one of the current ones, so I'd say from like 2019, even 2018 to now, then you'd want to get it, because it will sell in that $50 to $75 range. Okay, we're going to do a little story time with this next sale. I found this Escada blouse. It was beautiful. One of my sort of trips to Boston, maybe back in October or November, somewhere in there. And I was so excited to find it. It was so pretty. It had little rhinestones in the cuffs. It's just a really pretty blouse, as you can see in that photo. And then I found a Max Mara silk blouse, the same trip. I was in line, ready to cash out, and I grabbed them off the rack because they just happened to be there. I didn't list this thing until about 3 weeks ago. And then it sold immediately for full asking price at $85. Tell me you've done this before. You have something that's really great. You know it's really great, but like there's something about it that you just can't bring yourself to list it, whether it needs stain treatment or it's wrinkled and you have to steam it, whatever it is, it just like you can't actually go through the process of taking it on the hanger, putting it on the wall to take a photo of it. That's what this piece was to me all of these months until I finally listed it, and then it sold immediately. That like drives me crazy, and I get so mad at myself. Like, why did you do that, Daniela? Why didn't you just list it? Yeah, it's awful. Awful. Really happy with the sale. Great return. The buyer was really happy. It's a beautiful piece. But yeah, I sat for so long in my I haven't listed it yet pile. Chloe, it's been in my drafts for 6 months that it sells 5 minutes. Couldn't be me. So true. I am not this person that does that, but on occasion there's just those pieces that I get and I'm like, I just don't want to list you. I just don't want to photograph you. First of all, the color alone makes it difficult to photograph, but with some editing, it came out really nicely. I think that was part of it. And it was wrinkled, which means I couldn't, every time I steamed it, it wasn't enough. I had to actually iron this. I think that's really what it was. I didn't want to do it. I was being lazy. All right, let's talk about a big flip that I had, but also had a high cost of goods, because I think it's important to mention these kind of sales. I do invest in certain pieces. If I come across a really great brand and I have the capital to do it, I'm gonna do it. I'm in that place in my reselling business that I can do it. I'm in that place in my life where I can do it. Came across these Gucci loafers. I paid $100 for them, and they sold within a week. I took an offer of 300. I was very happy with taking the offer of $300. Could I have held out for a little bit more? Maybe, but this style, the horsebit loafer, the 1953 horsebit loafer, there's so many different versions of this shoe, but this shoe in general, you're really not going to get more than 3 to 375. Could I have held out for a little bit more? Yeah, probably. But when I received an offer on these shoes, the buyer had originally offered me 250, and I just sent him a message and I was like, "Hey, I actually just listed these, and I'm really trying to get at least 300 for them. Could you meet me there?" And he was more than happy to meet me at 300. So I took the sale, and it was a super, super fast flip. I know that this isn't the traditional flip for a lot of people, paying $100 to then get three. It's just a different way of sourcing. It's the same concept of as most of us source on a daily basis, but it's just putting up a little bit more capital to then make a little bit more capital. But it all evens out at the end of the day, no matter which way you try to splice it. But I was really happy to sell those. I have another pair in my closet, same size. I'm assuming it's from the same person. They're a navy blue, and those are still sitting. And I knew that the blue would probably sit longer than this like brown tan color that I got. And I'm okay with it. I'm gonna let it sit. That is not something that I'm gonna send in to the real world. That's something that I'll keep and I'll just sell myself. The navy ones end up getting half off. So they were only an investment of 50. So my profit will be a little bit higher on that. It's just a different business model. It is, Chloe. It is just a different business model, and it's not for everyone, and that's fine. I'm okay with investing $100 to then make 300. And there are times I'm okay with investing, I don't know, $200 if I know I'm going to make 700. You know what I mean? Like it all depends on where you are in your business. I was excited about this next sale too. I'm excited about all these sales I'm sharing with you guys. This was the Savage by Fenty watercolor tie-dye corset. It was called a corset dress. I don't know who's wearing this as a dress because it hits at the waist. So, I mean, if that's your thing, then cool. But it's very short. But okay, that's what the title was. It was beautiful, beautiful colors, um just the material, the way that it was laid out, everything about Savage by Fenty is it's beautiful. There's no other way to say it, but she really makes a beautiful product. This was new at tags. I'd had really, really, really great luck selling Savage by Fenty when it's new at tags, and this was no different. Sold almost immediately. I think it was like 24 hours time or 48 hours time, in that range. Sold for as an offer $63. I had listed at 75. Took the offer of 63. I paid 6. So that was great. This next sale, I never pick up Merrill ever. It's just, and I have it around me everywhere in every store. I mean, Merrill is everywhere, but I just generally don't get it because the shoe doesn't appeal to me. And I know we shouldn't source that way, but also a part of me needs to source that way to be excited to list the stuff. Um, I secretly bought it from you to wear it as a dress. You're a jerk, Chloe. No, you didn't. This dress did not go to California unless you moved. Anyway, so these were slippers, the Merrill Gray Juno wool clog. It's called a clog, but to me it was a slipper. It is um take a shot every time Daniela says I never pick up this brand. I don't. When have I ever mentioned Merrill? In any haul, in any video, I have never mentioned Merrill. This might be my first time ever mentioning it. That's how infrequently I pick it up. But these were brand new and they were really cute, and I wanted them for myself, and I put them on, and they were just a little too snug for me to wear them around the house and stuff. So I listed them. I did pay quite a bit for this. I paid 15, which was probably foolish on my end, but I sold them for 52, so I still made a profit. Like I'm okay with it. It's fine. I would never pay $15 for Merrill, but in this instance, it worked out in my favor. I was going to keep them, and then I ended up selling them. So that's the story about the Merrill. That's why they actually ended up being an item that I thrifted just because I wanted them. Oh, this was a surprising one. Who can sell rails for $60? Apparently, I can. This was a new at Tags Rails Reeves Blue Mint Dip Dye sweatshirt. I bought this retail arbitrage. It was $10. Sold for full asking price of 60. $60 for rails. I don't know who this person was that bought this, but they must have really liked it because I was stretching with the $60. I mean, rails retails for a ton. But yeah, this just pretty wild. Pretty wild that it sold for $60. Where are you getting Burberry for $10? Okay, let's talk about cost of goods because some people might not know that I do this. I average everything that I get, but these were regardless of me averaging my total from the receipt. These were only priced at $7.99 in the store, so I think they thought they were fake. So they priced them at $7.99, but they were real. And I could understand why they thought they were fake. They were dirty, number one, so they didn't look good. The presentation of them wasn't good. The Burberry was kind of rubbed off. The stitching looked a little funky, but it was just that the stitching was coming undone a couple places, so I just fixed that up. I made the shoe look nice, and I did my research, and I made sure that it was real because I questioned it a little bit too at first when I saw the price. But no, they were legitimate, they were real, they were authentic. Sold them for $110, which was an offer. I think I got them priced at $145, and the cost of goods is $10. So that was really nice that I found them. Hey, Bridget. I still don't find rails. I don't really find rails either. I found it retail arbitrage. So I have found rails in the thrift store, but honestly, I can count on one hand how many times I have found rails at the thrift store. It's just not a brand I come across often. I don't know if that means that they're just not as popular anymore, or I just, people around me don't, I don't know. They just don't really wear it. I don't know. I don't generally like rails tops and stuff, but this was cute and it was new at Tags. You could pick up a piece of Burberry trash and probably sell it for 20. I mean, this is true too. This is true. I was happy with the $110 though. Oh, I want to talk about these Allbirds. Okay. I know Allbirds are like a thing of the past, but this specific style of Allbirds, this is a pickup. This is one that people are looking for. The amount of likes and shares that this one piece got sold in 3 days. It is called the Allbirds White Tree Dasher running shoe. I mean, they come in various colors, but the Tree Dasher running shoe, you need to remember that. That is one that people really want. They are a running shoe. It's not like the wool shoe that they have that's kind of like doesn't really resell for a ton of money anymore. This one does. This one's really good. So for $58, I took an offer on them. Cost of goods was 10. This woman contacted me and she'd been searching for another pair of white Tree Dasher running shoes. And she had bought whatever, I don't remember what these were. I think these were like a size 10. She had bought 9.5 and they were too small. And she was really searching for a 10, but she didn't want to pay retail again for them. So I was happy to supply her with her running shoes for $58. Ooh, Francis, you found a rails top today. What kind of rails top did you find? They make dresses too, not just tops. I'm sure they make other things as well, but I've seen a dress by Rails before. All right, moving on to Levi's Ribcage Straight Ankle Jean. This was a plus size jean. It was a size 24, I believe, women's, or 22. I don't remember. Sold for $76.99. And yeah, it was $12 cost of goods. I don't know why I put $76.99. Oh, because it's an eBay sale. That's why. I was like, wait, that's not Poshmark. We moved on to eBay. I'm not paying attention to my own live. Before I continue on with the sales of eBay, this is the only eBay slide because eBay was garbage for me this month. Poshmark by far took the cake, and eBay decided to take a nap all of April, except yesterday it decided to give me 4 sales in a row, which thank you. Very happy about that. But yeah, I only got 3 to share with you because the other sales that I had just weren't really worth anything mentioning. These 3 though, I think are worth mentioning. The Ribcage Straight does come in plus size. So if you find plus size ribcage straights, people are looking for them. Definitely a pickup for that. This one just made me happy that I sold a Michael Kors quilted leather purse for $83.99, and my cost goes to $10. I bought this recently, 2 weeks ago. Sold really fast, partly because of the style. I think black leather quilted handbags, it's just a vibe that people want. They just sell really quickly. I like them for myself, so I wasn't surprised that this bag sold fast. There was a little wear on the corners, but the inside was beautiful. It was in perfect condition. So happy that that sold. I'm gonna integrate comments and sales here. Found a pair of straight at garage sale today, $2. I almost paid. That's a really good price. It was a pink plaid top, pretty classic rails. FYI, your photos are so aesthetically pleasing. Oh, I'm so glad that they are. I work really hard on my photos. I do. Like I try to, that's why I have these new ring lights here. I can change the contrast on them. I really try to pick up the true hue of each item. It's really hard though, because I'm not professional, but I try to make things look good. So thank you. You were the opposite. Oh, with your sales. Yeah, that's most people this month. I know. I'm sorry that Poshmark's in hibernation, but I have my theories. We'll talk about my theories after the slide. I promise we're going to talk about the theories. And then we can all share what our theories are. We're going to dedicate some time tonight to talk about that. So we can all have a little vent session and share our thoughts on it. Next up is this Burberry vintage wool trench coat. Bought this in Boston. It was a $10 cost of goods, sold for $133.99. I took a lower offer on this simply because I wanted to move it. I probably could have held out for a little bit more. I could have sent it into the real and gotten more. I just didn't want to. I was very happy with the offer that I got. And that's that. I just needed to move it. I couldn't be attached to it. I had that conversation with myself of you can't be attached to this piece. You just got to let it go. You'd rather make the money right now than send it in, wait for it to be listed, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Just take the money. So that's what we did. We took the money on this and off it went. All of these buyers, very satisfied, already got my rating, no returns, really happy about that. I did change one thing on my eBay last month. And I went from, I think, a 14-day return policy to a 30-day return policy. And so far, knock on wood, has not kicked me in the ass yet. So we'll see if that continues. I'm not sure. But so far, the 30-day return thing is okay. What's your experience with 30-day returns? Do you do 30-day returns? Am I stupid for doing 30-day returns? My buyers always pay shipping, which is why you see the, $83.99, $133.99. They always pay shipping. I don't pay shipping. That's on them. But yeah, let me know. What do your returns look like on eBay? I'm like a eBay baby, but I pretend like I'm not. I list and I like throw my hands up in the air and say, well, we're going to see what happens this month. That's kind of my vibe. All right, those were my sales. So we're going to go into like my Poshmark theories, and then I'm going to show you my analytics side of everything and what everything kind of looks like. Cause that kind of goes on with the Poshmark theories. Chloe saying, I only do 30 returns and I charge return shipping and I still get INADs. It's really annoying. Yeah, I haven't gotten an INAD in 2 years. Again, knock on wood. Hope that doesn't happen. So I charge for return shipping as well. I don't deal with shipping. Nope. Sorry. Not about that. Other people do it. I do not. Hello, Deb. I haven't had a return on eBay in over 2 months. I do 30-day returns, but buyer pays shipping. Yeah, that's what I do. I do the same thing. And maybe that's what deters people from opening up a return. Let's talk about a return I did have on eBay. I didn't show it up here because I didn't think it was important, but we'll talk about it. I shipped a item to an international buyer. And I thought I did my due diligence, and I thought that there were no flaws. It ended up that one of the seams under the armpits actually was open and I didn't catch it. And it was like this very sheer material that if I were to try to sew it, like it just wouldn't work out. And I sent it to the buyer and she was so excited to get the piece. And then she messaged me before she opened up a return case and she explained the situation and that the item was flawed. Now, international buyer. Um, I decided instead of like, give me the item, what I don't want it anyway. I told her, open up a return case. I'm just going to refund you. I'm just, it's my bad. I'm just going to refund you. I've never done that before. But in this situation, it was an international buyer and the shipping and all that. Like it just didn't make sense. It was my fault. And, I took the hit and I returned the shipping to her, which it was only $8.99. So I'm assuming that's because that's what I had it priced at. I don't know. But that's what the shipping was $8.99. I don't really understand the cost of all these things. I just know that it said $8.99 for shipping on my end. So it was my fault. I take the hit. It is what it is. All right. We're going to talk about Poshmark theories, conspiracy theory times. Okay. There's 2 slides of these, and these are the things that I've been pondering about. These are things I have going on in my head. These are the things that I'm noticing in my own closet. In full transparency, I am not having a slow month on Poshmark. Given my sales that I've already showed you guys, I think it's pretty evident that I'm having sales on Poshmark. I'm not seeing a dip. I saw a dip in February when the first rollout came out with all this stuff. I'm not seeing anything right now. For right now. Drop your theories in the comments, though. I want to know your theories in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. You guys can have a conversation about it. I'm going to talk about my first 4 talking points. I think the most important one to note, the one that like sticks out in my head the most, and what I'm noticing in my own personal sales. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. They're my conspiracy theories and things that I'm experiencing. Okay, disclaimer right there. I think brand and higher price points matter. I think that with Poshmark having these branded closets coming in, I think they're signaling as to what it is that they're looking for on their platform. If you remember, like way back, my sister's here. Hi, Steph. This is the first time my sister's joined the live. Yay. Everyone say hi to Steph. Anyway, that totally distracted me. So back in the day, Poshmark used to have a big push on boutiques and boutique brands and all that. Like that was a lot of what you saw. Now we have these branded closets that are coming in. And I don't think this is Poshmark's doing per se. I think this comes at a higher level. I think this is like investors and right, the people that have bought into the company. I think that's the direction maybe the investors want to go in. I think that's the direction that they think will yield them a higher profit to then in turn increase their stock. Like there's a lot that goes into that. But what I'm noticing is my higher price point items and my, I guess, brands that are more mid-tier to higher end are the ones that get the most attention. They're getting the most likes, they're getting the most shares, and they're the ones that are being bought. That's my first like biggest thing that I've put together. The second thing is community interactions matter. I use Posture VA. I'm not afraid to admit that. I use a bot. I know some people don't. Some people do. I don't care where you stand on this. This is what I do. And what I have noticed is the more I am doing community shares, going back to the basics, right? Sharing other people's closets, following closets, sending out offers, sharing my own closet, all the things, making purchases, like all of that, all of the community aspects of Poshmark, the more that I'm doing it multiple times a day, the more engagement that I'm getting, the more sales that I'm making. When I'm not doing that, when I'm not listing and doing all the things, the less engagement, the less sales that I make. For example, the last 2 days, 2.5 days, I haven't listed anything new. I've only relisted. Then go back 3 more days, I relisted and listed only 1 or 2 new items. The last 3 days where I haven't really done too much besides relist and just share my own stuff and not really do too many community things, I've only made 2 sales on Poshmark. Coincidence? Maybe. But I slowed down on purpose to see what would happen. And as soon as I slowed down, I wasn't making the sales. So we're going to continue the experiment for a couple more days and see what happens. And kind of go from there. I'm curious because I'm purposely doing this. This is my own version of an A/B test. I've done all these actions. For the last 2 months, I've listed 15 items every single day and relisted. Now I pulled back the last 3 days, and I'm going to continue to pull back just a little bit to see what changes, if anything. So when I come back in 2 weeks and we talk about this, I'll report back what my findings are on it, and I'm curious if I'm going to see that decrease because I'm not doing all the different things. All right, relisting. Relisting seems to boost your closet and your listings. People in our Thrifter's Villa Patreon group have mentioned this. I've noticed it. If items that I am relisting are getting a ton of likes, a ton of shares, and they're selling within either that day or a couple of days after. I definitely think that there's something in that relisting process. It goes into just in, whatever it is. So again, whether it's a new listing or a relisted item, it seems to get a little bit of a boost of some sort. So there's that. I hate even putting this on here, but I've noticed it with so many of my friends that sell vintage. It seems like vintage and more common brands are hidden on the platform, which then ties back to my original theory that brand and higher price point matter. And I see that Chloe is mentioning the same thing, that her biggest theory is that people with low cost of goods, low average sale price business models are the people struggling right now. Yes, 100%. I agree with you. I think that is why you're seeing a big portion of the community struggling. I think there's other things going on as well. I don't think that's just it, but I think that's a big piece of the pie. I think that if your model focuses on those brands that are easier to attain at a lower cost of goods, it's difficult. So then we go back to the conversation of brand and higher price point. How do you, as a seller, use Poshmark if the only way you can get inventory is by buying the low cost of goods and the more lower average selling price piece? Do you still fit in that Poshmark world? I don't know right now. I don't know. I don't know if that fits yet. It's too early to tell. Poshmark is still developing things. These are, of course, theories, like we said. There's so many factors to it. I'm very curious to see what the conversation is going to be like on Thursday for the fireside chat. I do have a seat to that. And, I'll recap as much as I can. I'm sure other people are going to recap as well. So I probably won't make a video on it, but I'm very curious to see what kind of conversation is had there. So those are my first 4 theories. So I'm going to move on to my next 4. But before I do that, I just want to say hello to Leslie, who is in the room. Hi, Leslie. Thank you for joining us tonight. Random old stuff I relist. I relist anything that is 60 days or older. And I do it every single day. Every single day. You can't send it to ThreadUp anymore. What can't you send to ThreadUp anymore? Explain. You will have to find another platform to supplement your income. Yeah, that's basically what you're going to have to do if this is where Poshmark is heading. Again, theories. We don't know. We don't really know what's going to happen. This theory makes sense. I'm definitely a low cost of goods seller. I've been sharing my closet in high to low order, still selling some low cost items. I think you're always going to sell those lower cost items. I just don't know if this is going to be the platform for it anymore. I think that you're gonna have to find different avenues for that, and I think the places really for it are eBay, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace. Those are gonna be your 3 places that you're gonna be able to move that product quickly and for that lower, average selling price. Oh, okay, Robin, I'm sorry, the lower brands. Yeah, ThredUp just changed their rules for that, and, there's a lot of brands they're not taking anymore. For me, it doesn't matter because ThredUp is said it before, and I'll say a million times, they're my dumping ground. It's just kind of like items I don't care about or items that are going to get donated anyway. If I get any money from them, great. If not, whatever. Like it doesn't affect me because I don't use ThredUp in that manner, but I know it's going to affect other people. All right, next 4 theories that I have. A/B testing is definitely happening with the new algorithm. This has been said in the community by numerous different people. And all that means is that one group of people are lumped in A, another group of people are lumped in B, and A has one category attached to it, B has another category attached to it, and all subcategories, and you run with it, right? So whoever's in group A gets pushed out in one manner, whoever's in group B gets pushed out another manner. Then they collect all the data and then they merge everything together and they look at the data and they say, okay, what happens when XYZ happens in group A? And then what happens when those same factors occur in group B? Do we have a difference? Do we have similarities? What seems to be working better? Yes, 100% they're doing this, but we have no way of knowing who's in what group, what's happening. We don't know anything. Any company can do this. You can do it on YouTube. If you're a YouTuber, you can A/B test your thumbnails. Like it's a very rudimentary practice that can happen in the tech space and any space really. So I definitely think that they're testing things out, and they have people lumped in different groups, however that may be, and it's randomized, or maybe it's not. Maybe they have some type of control in there, but they definitely need to see what's going to happen when one group does this, another group does that, and then progress the algorithm that way. So there's definitely some of that happening. I'm gonna take a sip of water and read the comments here. I also had lower brands get rejected on Flip. That's interesting. I haven't used Flip in a very, very long time. So um I don't even know what they take and don't take. And Depop for all price points. Yeah, I agree with you, Bridget. I think Depop does have an audience for all different price points. It's just different. It's a different vibe on Depop. Chloe, so I definitely would say it's way too soon to make huge change in a business. I mean, Poshmark is still figuring their life out, so I wouldn't change everything just to switch again. Yeah, I agree. I don't think anyone should change anything. Just keep doing what you're doing, list, share, do all the things. Don't drastically decide to leave. But definitely don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you want to start branching out, just in case things fall off and you're like, I'm done with you, Poshmark. You've got everything that you need on other platforms. Don't give up yet, though. It's way too early, way too soon. We don't know anything. They're in the beginning stages of figuring things out. So I agree with what Chloe says. Yeah, it's algorithm 101. Most companies do this 100%, but people that maybe don't understand tech or are not involved in the tech world wouldn't necessarily know that A/B testing is happening on social media platforms every single day, and we just don't know it. They push out different A/B testing all the time. All the time. Sometimes if you're like in tune with what's happening in social media, you'll be able to see like Instagram will push certain things out to you, and then all of a sudden it'll stop and they'll test something else out. It's all part of AI, which I learned in an Instagram live that Poshmark doesn't have AI, which was like mind blown that any company that is international doesn't have AI. We're just going to leave that there because I have no other words for that. I'm keeping my business the same until I hear Poshmark come out and say something. I do think eventually they'll make an announcement. Yeah, I agree. They absolutely will. I noticed Poshmark sending messages to list items that, between listing items, closet clear out, all these other things, they're sending these messages all the time. And it's like, we get it. We get it. You want us to be interactive. Understood. I'll do the best that I can today and leave it at that. Okay, our next theory is do not change your titles or descriptions. Keep everything SEO friendly. I know that people are changing their titles and making them shorter. I know that people are changing lots of different things within their listings. Please don't do it. Please keep everything SEO friendly, because if they decide tomorrow that everything goes back to the way that it was before because what they're working on just isn't ready yet and they can't release it, they've got to pull it back, or they figure everything out, Google SEO is still king over everything. So no matter what, you want to be SEO optimized. No matter what they do with their platform, your keywords, your descriptors, they matter. Please don't stop doing it. Please don't. And if you do and it works for you, then fine, keep doing it. But in my world, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And the last thing that I just wanted to note on here is the investors want what they want, and Poshmark has to listen. At the end of the day, they have a board, and their board of investors says, you need to do X, Y, and Z because we're not happy with this. So you need to figure it out. And this is how we want you to figure it out. So you need to implement it. And if that doesn't work, then you need to report back to us, and then we're going to give you something else that you need to do. Like, it's the investor's bottom line at the end of the day. So you can't blame Poshmark as a whole. There are people above that. Okay? You're stuck, just exactly what Chloe said. Your stock is at $12 after a year. You need to listen to your investors. You don't have a choice. Your stock plummeted. Guess what? Your investors could say, bye, see you later, and sell you out to someone else. So they're going to do everything that they can to get that stock to come back up. That's going to require a lot of work on Poshmark's end. I'm sure they're going crazy trying to figure out what they need to do to bring that price back up. How do we get our name out there? How do we get the engagement going? How do we get the sales going? How do we get people to buy into our company when everyone in the community is complaining about our search? What do we need to do? There's so much happening behind the scenes. We just don't see it. So we make our own assumptions about it, right? But at the end of the day, it's the investors. That's really what it comes down to. Also, my sister would know, Google is definitely king. My sister's very involved in the tech world. She's also a graphic designer. So if you're looking for a graphic designer, that's your girl right there. If Posh doesn't get their shit together, their investors are out 100%. They will not stay. They will leave. They will leave. And it will not be the end of Poshmark. It will just mean that another company will come in. There'll be a merger or a buyout. Something will happen and the platform will change in a very drastic way. No matter what way you spin it, it will be completely different than what you're used to. Yep, they are running out of time. That's why they keep changing things back and forth and not saying anything. They are on a timeline. And I don't know what else to say about that besides that they're on a timeline. So I'm really curious to see what the next earning report will look like. I'm very curious to see what quarter 2 and quarter 3 will look like for them. By quarter 4, we'll know what the fate of the app will be and where it stands. By the end of this year, we will definitely know. I just think it's too early for any of us to speculate anything. Just keep doing all the things. Try not to get discouraged. Pay attention to what's selling in your closet. Pay attention to what's not selling in your closet. Look at other platforms. If you want to start branching out, there's a lot of resources out there. There's great videos that you can watch. Like, just these are all theories, but there's also some validity in my head to them. So, and a lot of you guys are agreeing in the comments as well. So yeah, if you guys have anything else to add about Poshmark theories, feel free to keep leaving them in the chat and we'll come back to them. I do want to, now talking about, Poshmark and all these different things, I want to talk about my personal sales and you saw what sold over the last few weeks, right? Bits and pieces of it, but I want to show you the numbers now. And I want to show you the success that I've had this month. And we're going to compare it to last year. Here we have a chart. This is from my Reseller Genie, which is a tool that I am currently using. And I snipped, it's all of, well, from April of last year to April of this year. So as you can see here, April of last year, I was just a little over 3,000 at the end of the month for my total sales. And I am creeping close to the $5,000 mark. This is obviously gross for sales, which will come. So last month, March was my highest with over it was like 5,400 and something. I still have a week left, so I can still do it. I might be able to beat March. I don't know if I will, but I might be able to beat it. So as you can see, the last 2 months where everyone seems to be declining, I'm actually increasing, which is where my brand and higher price point theory kind of lies. If we look at January and February, they were okay. I mean, they were good months. They weren't bad. They were very, very good months. But in February, I had a dip because of that rollout that Poshmark had. But then I came back in March and I, I've had success and I'm having success again. You will notice that my average cost of goods, which is the blue, is higher as of January of this year. And it's just because I'm sourcing differently. So yes, my average cost of goods is up, but I'm also sourcing different items. So there's that. So I thought this was really interesting to take a look at and just kind of see where I'm at compared to last year. So I've obviously beat last year. December was really bad for me. But January, February were kind of rocky. Last month really started to take off, and this month is doing really well. So, okay, hold on, Chloe, I'm coming to you. I think the biggest thing also is that sellers taking this personally, they're bringing emotions into it. Yes, business is not personal. 100%. You cannot put your emotions in any of this. You can't, and you have no control over it. So whatever you can control, do that. You can't control what companies are doing. You can't think level-headed if your emotions are into it. Yep, 100%. Yes, I will explain what you're looking at. I didn't include the little key, but this is, so the green is my gross sales. The blue is my cost of goods. This white line or gray line, I can't remember what it is. This is my net. Nope, not my net profit. I don't remember what this is. The blue is my net profit, but this, I don't have the real in here yet because I don't add that into the end of the month. I don't have any outside sales or any outside income that may have came in, whether it be the podcast or YouTube or whatnot. That's not included in here. Right now, this is solely my sales that I've had. That's the green. And this is all gross. This is all gross sales. So I also include my expenses and stuff in here. So my internet, everything is included in here every single month. So it obviously brings my net profit down because of that. So if that helps, let me know. If not, if you need me to explain more, I will definitely explain some more on that. But this is from my Reseller Genie. So I really like that it breaks it all down for me and I can just see everything visually. Really helpful. All right, I wanted to show you guys, again, I show you guys every single time, my majority of my sales are Poshmark. 71.2% of my sales are Poshmark. 22.4% were eBay, and then 6.41 says other. That was Tradesy. I had one Tradesy sale so far this month. My first Tradesy sale in like a year. But I'll take it. It was an item that I had listed and Monday night, and it sold Tuesday morning. So I was very happy with that sale. And then down here in the bottom, I can't move this and I can't see it. But whatever the numbers say down here at the bottom, I have a thing on my end. This is slide 9, and then it has a previous slide, next slide. So I can't actually see the numbers that are there. But it should show you my gross profit so far for the month, and then what my average selling price is right underneath that. And this was snipped yesterday. So I've made sales today, so that's obviously not included. These numbers fluctuate. So take it with a grain of salt, but those numbers fluctuate obviously daily depending on what you're selling. And what you're adding in there. Oh, I got to go away. Okay, yes. So my gross profit so far this month is $2,711.91. That includes when they show me that in, that includes all my expenses and everything taken out. That's what that is. And then average selling price is $59.79. So not bad. I like to be a little bit higher. But like I said, I also haven't included anything else in here. That's just my my sales. The last thing that I want to show everyone is my categories that are selling right now, because this can be helpful to people. And right now, the things that are selling the best for me is shoes. Shoes is my number one selling category. Not a surprise. I do like selling shoes. And Chloe. Yeah, my average selling price is usually like 65 to 70. It's a little low right now, but I'm not worried about that. All right, so shoes is my highest. Second highest would be pants and jumpsuits, which includes like leggings and all that. I sell a lot of leggings. Then it is jeans, not a surprise, and then dresses. So that's where I'm falling. That's what I'm sourcing the most of. Makes sense. I'm not sourcing a lot of handbags. I'm really pulling back on the handbags. Sweaters, and not surprising that's not selling right now. Swim, bags, jackets, kind of all even there. I really don't sell a lot of tops, but I came into quite a bit of new tag items, so tops is a little high. Intimates, that's because I sold a couple of bras, so that's up. And then skirts, I hardly sell any skirts. It's just not something that I really sell. But yeah, shoes, pants, jeans, dresses. That's basically where you're going to find me in the thrift store, and it clearly shows. What you pick up the most of is obviously what your best-selling categories are going to be, but also it gives you an indicator of what your customers are buying from you, which then fuels you to keep sourcing for those categories. I think that's really important to throw in the mix there when you're looking at these types of graphs. This is what your buyers are buying, so use it to help you when you're out there sourcing. That's my presentation. Wow, right to almost 9 o'clock. Did good with this. That's the teacher in me. Trained myself how to lecture in 1 hour's time. Chloe says her jeans are number one right now, and then tops are second. Interesting. How do you sell tops? Explain that to me. I struggle with selling tops. Sweaters, different story, but like blouses, button ups, I still pick them up because glutton for punishment, I guess. But they don't move for me. They just sit. So I don't really get them. My throat is so dry from talking. Oh, all right. So we're approaching 9 o'clock, but open forum time, guys. If you have any questions, if you want to share any of your theories, if you have any questions for me or any thoughts on the things that I said, feel free to leave them in the chat and we can have a discussion about them. I'll give everyone a few minutes to do that. Oh, I'm sorry, Maddie. Next time I'll make sure to keep it. I'll talk more. How about that? Next time I'll do a haul and a what sold. I didn't talk about the real. When I talk about the real, it ends up being longer, but I'm not doing that today because we're not done with the month yet. So I can't talk about the real. I mean, I guess I could, but I want to give you the full complete story of what sold on the real. Oh, graphic tees and trendy crop tops. That makes sense. Blouses and button-ups don't sell for me. See, that's what I pick up. That's what I enjoy picking up, though. I don't enjoy picking up t-shirts. Not my thing. Wait, what did I miss? Manish isn't real and it's just a... Stop it. Stop it, Chloe. Tops used to be second highest category until I started sourcing more shoes because they are better profit margin for me. Absolutely. I 100% agree. I think shoes just yield a higher profit. I think coats yield a higher profit. Um, yeah, I agree with you. We always talk about the real real at our house. That's because you are the real real queen and people just don't know it. Besides us, who are friendly with you, Robin. What's your thing, Steph? I'm very confused. What are you saying? I'm gonna give everyone a couple more minutes, some final thoughts. Anyone have any theories that I didn't mention that they want to shout out there? Don't be afraid. Just state your theory. Are you seeing a dip in sales or are your sales really good? Is there a way for me to do a poll on here? I don't think there is. I don't think I pay for that feature. Oh, t-shirts. Oh, yeah, my sister wears t-shirts all the time. That's all my sister wears is t-shirts. I own one t-shirt and I just bought it the other day. And I'll wear it to bed. I don't wear t-shirts out. It's just not me. My sales are going down each month at the Real Real. Why is that, Robin? Is it because of their new commission payout? Because I can see that. I definitely am not making the same amount that I was last year, where I was getting payouts of like $500, $600, $1,400. No, my payouts are like 260 to 350 right now. But I'm also not really sending them too much stuff. My Posh sales are the same, but it's my third selling platform. Well, so it's a little different for you, but also interesting that they've stayed basically the same for you. That's interesting. I'm in a computer science class right now. Gross. But we talked about algorithms, and I almost flat posted the damn lecture on the Poshmark Facebook group because those people are idiots and say algorithm 5 times a day. Chloe, it's too early to be so mean. No, but I think that the general consensus that I'm getting from the community is that a lot of people don't truly understand what goes on in like on the back end when it comes to tech stuff. So I work with IT all the time. We roll out things. We work in beta, with various programs, and I can't tell you how many times this happens. You roll something out, it's awful, you roll it back, you put certain people in the beta group. It's a constant evolving thing, and until they say it's a final product, you kind of just have to sit down and wait. That's really what it comes down to. You just have to sit down and wait, as frustrating as that is. I don't know. I need to look at stats. I haven't reviewed the data yet. Maybe this week. Yeah, I mean, it could just be that the payouts are different for you too. All right. Well, if everyone's just going to be quiet tonight, that's fine because I have work to do too. I'm going to sign off of here. Thank you, everyone, for joining me for my live What Sold and my Poshmark conspiracy theories. I hope it was helpful. I hope that, I don't know, the theories maybe made sense and you're like, oh, okay, well, I could see that. That kind of sounds true for me too. Or maybe you're like, you're out of your mind, Daniela, and just stop talking. You don't know what you're talking about. That's fine. You can think that too. I won't think any less of you. My dad is IT, and he was like, Poshmark is like a baby turtle that wants to be a big turtle. Yep. But it will never be until they hire actual IT. Yes, I agree with your dad. 100%. No IT personnel would have ever rolled out what they have rolled out in the manner that they've rolled it out in. I know from experience that my personal IT department that I work with would have never released a product in the way that they just did it. So, with that being said, we're gonna close the room before I get myself into trouble on here. So, thank you everyone for joining, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with another What Sold, and I'll try to come back next week with a video. I don't know yet. No promises. Everyone enjoy your weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.